Hi everyone. Right now it's very late here in China. It's already past 2 a.m. Most people are sleeping at this hour. The city outside is very quiet. Most lights in the apartment buildings are already off. And I'm just sitting here in my room alone. Sometimes late at night like this, I start thinking about my life, how things turn out. And honestly, sometimes I ask myself a question. How did I end up here? I'm almost 40 years old now. I'm not married, and I wouldn't say I have a very successful career either. I live in a rented apartment in the city. It's not very big, but it's enough for one person. Most days, my life is very simple. I wake up, I go to work. After work, I usually come home, cook something simple, eat dinner alone, maybe watch something alone online. And then the day ends. Then the next day starts again. Sometimes when I look at my life from the outside, it feels very ordinary. Maybe even a little bit lonely. But in China, there is another layer to all of this pressure. In Chinese culture, there is a kind of timeline for life. People expect you to reach certain milestones at certain ages. When you are a child, people ask about your grades. They compare you with other kids. They say things like, look at the neighbor's child. He studies so hard. Then when you are in your 20s, the questions start to change. People ask, what job do you have? Is your job stable? Does it have a future? Then when you get closer to 30, the most common question becomes very simple. When are you getting married? You hear it from relatives, from your parents' friends, sometimes even from people you barely know. And after marriage, the next question appears. When will you have children? For many people in China, this path is very clear. Study hard, find a good job, get married, have children. It's almost like a life template. And if your life follows that template, people think everything is going well. But if your life looks different, people start to worry. Or sometimes they judge you. I remember a few years ago, during a family gathering, one relative asked me a question. He said, you're almost 40 now. Why aren't you married yet? I didn't really know how to answer. Because sometimes life is not something you can fully plan. Things happen. Opportunities come and go. Relationships start and end. You try your best, but not everything is under your control. These days, my life is actually very quiet. After work, I sometimes take a walk outside. I see families working together, parents holding their children's hands. couples talking while they walk their dogs. Sometimes the restaurants are full of people laughing and chatting with friends. And then I go back to my small apartment. Cook something simple. Maybe noodles, maybe rice and vegetables. Just a normal meal. Nothing special. Sometimes I eat while watching videos online. Sometimes I just sit quietly. There are moments when I feel peaceful. And there are moments when I feel a little lost. When I was younger, I thought success had a very clear definition. A good career, a stable income, a family, a house. Those things seemed like the standard. But the older I get, the more I realize life is more complicated than that. I know people who have successful careers but feel extremely stressed every day. I know people who have families but are not happy in their relationships. And I also know people who live very simple lives but seem calm and content. So sometimes I think maybe success doesn't look the same for everyone. Maybe people move through life at different speeds. Some people build everything early. Some people take a longer path. And some people are still figuring things out even in the 30s or 40s. Late at night like this, when everything is quiet, these thoughts come to my mind. I don't know exactly what my future will look like. Maybe one day my life will change. Maybe it will stay simple like this. But one thing I try to remind myself is this. Life is not a race with a fixed finish line. Everyone is walking their own road. Some roads are straight, some roads are full of turns. And sometimes we only understand our past many years later. Anyway, that's just something I was thinking about tonight. I'm actually curious about something. If you are watching this video, where are you from? And in your country, how do people define success? Do people also feel pressure about marriage, career, or family? Or is life more relaxed where you live? I'd really like to hear your perspective. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for listening. And good night from China.